and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new, and welcome to a video I've been excited to film for such a long time now. I am inviting you to come spend the month of September with me at the Everbloom Academy. We're doing a readathon, besties. So let me explain. First of all, I will say I am not reinventing the wheel with this readathon. There are so many amazing readathons I was inspired by, like G from Book Roast with the magical readathon, the back to school readathon. There's just so many out there. I will leave some of my inspiration in the description box, but I will say I am not trying to steal anybody's ideas. I am just simply taking some ideas, making them a little bit of my own, and more importantly, adding a middle grade twist to it to make it even more whimsical. So, let me explain. If you do decide to join me at the Everbloom Academy for the month of September, we will be spending the entire month there, and everybody is going to have some of the same classes, but we're also going to be split up in 3 different departments. So, your job here is to decide, are you coming to the Academy? And what department will you take part in? I'm going to cover the basic classes first and then move on to what special classes each department has. But before I do all that, let's go through like the basics, nitty-gritty things. I will timestamp this video if you want to refer back to specific parts of the video and explanations, but I will try to make this as concise as possible. So, what you need to know in order to decide if you are joining or not is that we are starting at year 1, semester 1. That means the fall semester. This is a readathon that, kind of like the magical readathon, will span throughout the years and the seasons. The ultimate goal right now is to have 2 semesters per year. We will be having a fall semester and a winter semester, and between that we might have week or 2 week long readathon bits where we catch up on our classes if we failed or need a little bit more time to get ready for the upcoming year. Year 1, semester 1, what does it entail? Basically, everybody will be doing basic courses because we're all starting at the same level at this academy. We're all year 1 folk. And that means 5 basic classes, which I will get into, as well as a extracurricular extra class everybody needs to decide on, which there are a variety, so you're not stuck with doing the extras and having no choices, because that would be lame. And then you also need to fulfill your department's requirements. As I mentioned, there are 3 different departments. So your department for now is going to be like basic classes, but as this readathon grows and as we go into year 1 and year 2, it will very much determine the kind of books you're going to read, so do take that into consideration while choosing your department. Every department obviously has its focus, and that's kind of what is going to steer your reading and what is going to steer your career path, because at the end of this, we're going to be people who work in society, in the magical society, and that is very exciting. To advance in your studies, you must fulfill all of the requirements. So as I mentioned, there are 5 basic requirements for everyone. There's 1 extracurricular and 1 book currently in year 1 fall that you need to read to be able to be part of your department. That being said, the amount of books that will be needed for future semesters will probably vary, but for now, technically, you need to read 7 books to be all up to date in your classes. As I mentioned, if you can't read 7 books in a month, we will have a makeup session a little bit later down the line before we do year 1, semester 2, so there's no need to stress. There will also be fun school and pride activities which will be happening during the readathon, obviously. So let's go into what the departments are and what exactly they entail. I will say that the 3 department names are based off departments that are in Amari and the Knight Brothers, which I mentioned is one of my favorite middle grade books, and it's basically what is inspiring this readathon. So, the first department you can be a part of is the Department of Half-Truths and Full Cover-Ups. For that, you will read the 5 you will read, you will partake in the 5 basic classes. So these classes are for every department. We have Arcane Ethics, Geography of Everbloom, History of Magic, Ancient and Magical Languages, and Magibotony. And your class 6, your extra class, which is basically what your department is Stealth, Evasion, and Concealment. And that, my friends, is taken from Nevermoor. So it's the clash of 2 of the most iconic middle grade books ever put into one. So let me tell you what all of that entails. For Arcane Ethics, which is a basic class everybody needs to do, you read a book that teaches you a lesson, or a book with good versus evil. So that could be like, I read a non-fiction book. Pretty much every fiction book teaches you a lesson or has a moral in the story. You can read a fable. Basically, this is kind of like an open prompt where you can read pretty much everything. Maybe not like a whole smut book, though that could teach you another kind of lesson. So anything you could take something from works. It's like the easiest prompt we have. Then, Geography of Everbloom Academy is to read a book with a map, or words like map, travel, those kinds of things that are related to geography. That is the prompt you need to fulfill. For History of Magic, you read a book featuring magic. Pretty basic. For Ancient and Magical Languages, you read either a translated book or a book with at least 5 words in the title. For Magibotony, a book with plants. So those are the 5 basics that you will see in all the other departments. But for class number 6, you, my friends, are going to read either a dark academia book, a book with words like secret, cheat, those kinds of things, books that would like demonstrate stealth or evasion or concealment, or a book with a secret society. So that is your prompt for your department and your department only. So if you decide to be part of the Department of Half-Truths and Full Cover-Ups, that is what you need to focus on right now: stealth, evasion, and concealment. The next department you can be a part of is the Department of Magical Studies. Now for that, as you can see, you have the same 5 basic classes, and class 6 is communicating with nature. So that is like your specialty. That is what we are working towards for year 1, semester 1. And that is basically to read a book with nature on the cover. That could be water, plants, trees, an animal, or to have a book with a plot line that has talking animals. Those are your choices to fulfill that prompt and be part of the Department of Magical Studies. The last department you can be a part of is the Department of Supernatural Investigations. Again, same 5 classes for everyone. Class number 6 and your specialty will be amateur surveillance. And that, my friends, means that you are going to read a book that features thieves or spies, or a mystery thriller. If you can do both at the same time, it's even more iconic. But that is your specialty, and that's where you are heading with your department. So obviously, in the future, there's going to be more that it will impact your specific department. But for now, that's how you make the choice. You can also go with the title and the vibes of what you think the future will hold. And I will say that currently in year 1, semester 1, if you want to do a class 6 for more than one department, you are welcome to, and then you can choose in the future. But you will have to make a choice before the end of year 1. So you can go and get those credits if you like to, but it's not mandatory. But if you want to like switch over the department, you still need to have that credit done, or will need to do it in the future. Now let's talk choice of elective. Basically, you need to choose one of the 4 different electives that are offered at Everbloom Academy, and you must complete that elective to be able to move on to the next semester. So the first elective is Musicraft, and obviously that is based off one of my favorite middle grade books. And for Musicraft, you have to read a book that features music in some sort of way. Pretty basic. Then we have unicorn and dragon writing, which again talks for itself. That means to read a book featuring dragons or unicorns. I'm gonna have a recommendations video for all of these as well. If you're like uninspired, I will mention that again at the end of the video, but just so you know. Then we have Study of Basic Elements, which is a book that features water, fire, earth, or air. And the last one is Healing 101, and that is a book with either a healing plot line, for example, someone who's going through life after a breakup, someone who's injured in battle and needs to heal themselves, or a book with someone who has a healing job or healing power. That can be kind of like a superhero or a fantasy book with someone who has healing powers, or it could be like a romance book where one of the main characters is a nurse or a doctor. It's made so that like you could read pretty much any genre. So as I said, remember your elective needs to be done before the end of the semester, and these electives will be built on in future semesters. So if you want to go to Healing 201, you might need to have done Healing 101. So again, keep that in consideration, because these are building blocks just like when we are in Muggle school, but this is magic school. So it's more fun. So those are all the basic classes and electives to choose from in your journey at Everbloom Academy. Now, Everbloom Academy would suck if it didn't have monthly activities. So here is what is going to be happening during the month. First of all, reading sprints, because we need to study. So they're going to be like common study sessions. They will be happening at least once a week for sure here, and then they might have an extra reading sprints on my Patreon, or we're going to do them all here. I'm not sure yet, but just know that at least once a week there will be sprints to help you study and gain momentum so that you don't fail your semester. We are also going to be cramming for finals. So near the end of the month of September, there's going to be a 24-hour readathon, and I'm going to try to stay up as much as humanly possible for a 27-year-old who likes sleep. But we're going to try, and again, this event will be live and available for everyone. We are also going to have a movie night where we are going to watch a fun fall spooky movie all together and talk about it in the comments. And we are also going to host a game night with all things trivia and bookish, so that we can like get to know our other fellow students and build a sense of community in this academy. The last thing, and probably the most fun thing, is a buddy read. And that buddy read book is The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane by Julia Nobel. I first was like, let's read Amari and the Night Brothers, because my whole readathon is based on like Amari and Nevermoor. But then I thought, like, I feel like so many people have already read those books. But this book is one of my all-time favorite middle grade books, and I just feel like I need to push it down more people's throats, and that's what I'm planning on doing. So, if you have not heard me talk of this wonderful middle grade book series, there's 2 books in the series. It follows a young girl named Emmy, who basically her dad disappeared and her mom is too busy to be a parent, and so she is shipped off at this boarding school with a secret society and so many mysterious and creepy things happening, where she meets a new set of friends, where she has to go and investigate. It feels like the perfect September book because there's just so many buzzwords in here. I will leave a link to the Goodreads and Storygraph summary if you guys want to hear more about this book, but this is extra credit. So if you decide to pick up this book and do the buddy read with us, there will obviously, 1, be a live show at the end of the readathon to discuss all our thoughts and feelings, and 2, when it comes to the next round, you can knock off a prompt, or if you for some reason don't complete all of your credits but you read this book, you can just push 1 credit to the side and forget it ever happened. This is like the extra, the bonus. the saving grace, the card, the same. It basically is getting you out of jail for free, if free means reading the book. But that being said, if you want to be part of a really fun discussion about this book, which fulfills a lot of the prompts, by the way, so if you want to double up on prompts as well, this is the perfect book to do so. It's an incredible mystery middle grade with a secret society, an astonishing friend group, and discussions on having missing parents, parents who weren't present in your life, parents who are too busy to be your parents, and all these kinds of things. So, buddy read. Just saying. It's a very, very good choice on my part, and I can't wait to reread this book, obviously. So in the next few days, there will be a Google Doc going up with the graphics for each of the departments, as well as the activities and the extracurricular you need to get in order to advance in this readathon. And I will also be leaving all the information in the description if you are going to join and need to figure out your TBR. As I mentioned, the next video, or one of the next videos on my channel, will be a recommendation video for every prompt that is included in this readathon, and I will also have my own TBR video, which will be going up a little bit later in the month, obviously before the month of September. That being said, I am technically the director. I am not going to be part of one specific department, but I will be reading, I hope, a book for every trope, or at least combining to try to hit every single thing, or if not, I will be picking and choosing, because that is my little perk for being the director and orchestrating the whole thing. So as I mentioned, the dates for the live shows, the 24-hour readathon, the buddy read live discussion, and trivia and movie nights will all be in the description once they are figured out, obviously all before the start of the readathon. And yeah, I hope this was clear. If you have any questions at all, do leave them in the comments and I will answer them as best I can. But it's very basic. If you follow the graphic and you understand that you need the 5 basic books plus your department book and the extra extracurricular, extra credit book, then you're all set. So technically you read 7 books or 8 books if you want to join in on the buddy read, and you're good to go for the month. And yeah, obviously these prompts are made to steer you in a way, but you can make them work and bend them as much as you please if it means that you participate in this readathon. So as I said, any questions, leave them down below. Also let me know if you plan on joining for year 1, semester 1, and if you're excited to see where this readathon will go, because I, for one, am extremely excited to see how this is going to turn out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon with some more videos. Bye guys, happy reading.